All right, family. Hey, what's up? Today,
That's right, baby.
we're going to do a video that a lot of y'all could touch on, and we all have dealt with this one. This is dealing with narcissistic people. Therefore, we're going to title this one, Narcissists. We all know about that, right?
Yeah.
People that stuck up, stuck on themselves. Yeah. Different type of words you can look. So that's also going to be a word of today. Narcissist. And if you look up the word narcissist, it simply means a person who has excessive admiration for themselves. Like they stuck on themselves. Now, you know, when we grew up in school or whatever the case, we heard people say, oh, Cindy, she's conceited.
There's a difference to me, honestly.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
You know, I've been in high school. A lot of people told me I'm very narcissistic, but I'm not. I'm very confident. There's a difference.
There's a difference with being confident.
But also, you learn if you are very confident, you should also be humble, because that's another great thing, to be confident yet humble at the same time. Exactly. Some people do not. I feel like someone that is to be called narcissistic is a person who's also not humble. Yeah. I think that's so out of character.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And all those words could tie in with each other. You could say narcissist, conceited, vain, stuck up on yourself. They all kind of touch on a narcissistic person. So before we get into a narcissist person, which that's going to be the title of this video, narcissist.
Word of the day.
Yes. So I'm going to give you a story of where that word derived, where it originated from. And it was from a mythological character. And his name was Narcissus. And what this, not to go into the whole big long story, I'm just give you a short version of the story. Narcissus, you don't have to. Narcissus was a character, a mythological character, where he was considered to be the most beautifulest guy ever to be seen by anyone. He was just so gorgeous.
He was stunning.
Yes. Anyone who came upon him, they just was, when they may have been looking for instructions to go somewhere. When they looked upon his face, they were just struck by so much beauty that they was like, and they almost forget what they were saying or whatever. And he was so used to this behavior because he always see how people treated him. It made, remember his name was Narcissus. It made him become a very stuck up person. Whereas he just looked down on people all the time.
And that's not being humble. Yeah,
it made him become very arrogant. Like when people will come upon him, he will always be like, listen, I don't have time for you peasant little people, you know. I mean, please be off with yourself. Like he just was so stuck up. He wouldn't make time for nobody because he was so used to everybody kissing his butt because they always told him how beautiful and how handsome he was. Therefore, he didn't think no one could be even compatible to him. But, like I said, I'm not give you a long story, but just give you a small part of it. So, for example, it was this one time where he was in the forest and he was trying to find his way to wherever he was going. And he got lost. And when he got lost, he came upon a river, a stream, a brook, you know, some water. And when he looked upon in the water, he seen what?
His own self.
Himself. He seen his reflection. Narcissus seen his reflection. And when he seen his reflection, it was the most beautifulest thing he ever seen in his life. Not knowing it was his, that's how stupid, how narcissist he is. He don't even realize you looking at yourself, dummy. But he just thought, oh my gosh, this is the most incredible, most handsomest person I've ever seen in my life. And every time he reached to touch the reflection, not knowing the reflection, you know, the water would obviously make it shimmer.
That's why he couldn't see himself. He thought it was somebody else.
Exactly. Yeah. And so what happened when he stared, he just didn't want to move. He fell in love, like a narcissist would do, fell in love with himself. He fell in love with the reflection, which was him. But that's how foolish he was. And he just stayed there. He wouldn't move. He didn't go to eat. He didn't go to do anything else in life except for to stay there and stare at himself in that reflection. Eventually, over time, remember, it's a mythological story. Over time, he stayed there so long that he eventually grew into the ground. And he became stuck in the ground, staring at himself until the day he died and eventually turned into a flower. Hence the saying when you hear people say, man, you stuck on yourself. Heard that before? You see? So now you know where that terminology comes from. Because Narcissus, he stayed there so long in that mud along the water, staring at himself, that he became stuck on looking at himself, stuck on himself.
What I literally just thought about by you breaking it down with the flower part. Say if I'm overreacting, but you can also take that as someone who's in a good way of being narcissistic. He turning into a flower, meaning you turned into a beautiful
something
thing.
beautiful.
So if I am narcissistic, I am a beautiful person.
Yeah, I get what you said.
Yeah, okay.
In a sarcastic type of way.
But it's the way they use it as well, because it makes them very ugly.
That's what I'm saying. You have to be humble with your confidence.
Yeah, but people turn something beautiful into a negative thing.
A monster?
Because now it's not about no longer they thinking when they see this stuff in the mirror, they're beautiful. They think now like, whoa, I didn't think I was all that. So now it's all about themselves. Yeah. So when they see people right next to them, they judge them, and then they think that they look better than them.
I feel like that's why you gotta have a self-check with yourself too.
That's a good point. You got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have a self-check within themselves.
And we all dealt with these type of narcissistic people. Rather they was all of the three F's: family, friend, or foe. Remember, family. We know what family is. Your family, your friends that you meet throughout life. A foe will be enemy. So family, friend, or foe, it don't matter who you're dealing with. We have all encountered some type of narcissistic behavior from family, friends, or foe. You know, you might have did a favor for somebody, family, friend, or foe. And when it was time for them to reciprocate, meaning to show that same respect that you gave them, they give you all kind of excuses. Oh, man, you know, this came up, man. Man, you got to understand, man. It's like, yo, man, did I give you them excuses? Yeah. Why? And then they tell you, man, I got so much going on, man. I don't need to be hearing all your excuses.
Well,
see you're just all about yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Because see, now you're saying that they don't feel bad about how they react, their actions.
Great point. They like narcissists.
They don't feel bad, or they don't care.
They
about
stuck
themselves.
on themselves.
You know, they just go on with their everyday life, not knowing what they did to this person. It hurts them. It's like you actually dissed me, and you carrying on your life like it's nothing. So that's narcissist.
I'm gonna piggyback on that. Let's say a person who did you wrong. Blatantly, the world could see what they did is wrong. A narcissist person will never admit that they're wrong. They will never own up to when they're wrong. They'll make every excuse except for the simple fact of, yo, you was wrong for what you did. They will tell you everything in the world except for the fact that they was wrong. They will never admit that they're wrong. That's a narcissist. Like number 45, the president. That joker got caught in so many lies and he just won't admit to nothing.
He's a big one. He's a
narcissist. Yeah.
It's 100% that he is.
A racist narcissist.
Yeah. We got everything. And like I said, I'm sure a lot of you out there, that narcissist behavior, sometimes it could drive you like really mad when you're dealing with a person like that, because you're saying to yourself, what the heck is wrong with you? You know, if I did this, then you should return the favor. Or I don't need to hear all these excuses. That's why I like when we watching Judge Judy and the person to make up some dumb excuse. Like you clearly owe this person money and you didn't think to pay them back. When it came time to pay them back, they'd say all these dumb excuses, and then Judge Judy checked them. She said, wait, hold on a second. So you didn't, they helped you out and you didn't think that you were supposed to pay them back. For what reason? Well, I had things to do with my own self. See, all about themselves. And they, no. And I like when she just cut it. She go, you know what? Reward to the plaintiff for $5,000. Like, I don't even want to hear nothing else you got to say, because I'm talking to a fool. Because that's what a narcissist is. They foolish. They will not admit that they're wrong.
Well, they think that they're entitled.
That's another one. That's a good one.
I mean,
since you
I
that entitlement. I like what Mommy said.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, no, go ahead first.
They're entitled. They
feel entitled.
Yeah, they think they have a right to.
You're reading.
Huh? Yeah, exactly.
She reading notes over here.
I was just gonna say, to all the people who are listening that aren't fully confident within themselves, that doesn't have enough confidence, you don't have to take the word narcissistic in a bad way. I feel like you're supposed to feel like you're that
confident, as you said earlier.
Yeah, you know how like on the streets you're supposed to feel like you that.
Yeah, you're
supposed to feel like you're on top. You're supposed to feel like the only person you're in competition is within yourself. I feel like those who don't have a lot of confidence that are watching this, there's nothing wrong feeling like you're that. You're supposed to feel like you're that. And if somebody feels like you're doing way too much, maybe they're just not on that level and they may feel like you're the one that's taking it, but you're not. You're supposed to always feel confident with yourself. You're supposed to always feel like you're number one and no one could take that place
now,
from you.
I agree with all that she said, but I like what you said earlier. Everything you said, but to be confident. It's one thing to be confident in all that what you said, but when you start being disrespectful,
that's when you're taking it the wrong way.
You are totally disregarding someone else's feelings, especially when you owe that person an apology.
Yeah.
When you owe that person the respect that they gave you, when you owe that person money that they gave you, when you owe that person your time, but instead of giving them that same time they gave you, you give them an excuse. So the confident thing, you're absolutely right. But when it comes back to showing back the respect that has been given to you, and instead of you giving that to that person, you give them excuses. That's a narcissistic
you could take
low
it
life.
In a negative and positive way. I was listening to this rapper. Her name's Cash, something like that.
All right.
And she said, she was like, you're not supposed to apologize for being that. Like, you're supposed to. Like, and if you feel like I'm doing, well, that's your problem. You're supposed to feel like, yeah, I'm that. No one could be me. But at the same time, keep in mind, don't feel like you're judging someone or you're belittling them, or you feel like, oh, you're looking at them down because your nose is too high. Like,
well, that's him in the book.
Also, you gotta remember, maybe people, like, what I'm trying to say is that people always focus on, oh, I'm high end, like as if you wasn't struggling at one point, as if you wasn't at that person's level at one point, and by you talking down on somebody, you're giving them less confidence when you could be that person with the high confidence and give some of that confidence off to somebody else, and in that way,
but the thing is that people like that, they will never see it. No matter how you try to see it, they're not going to see it.
You also have to. That's what we talking about. The narcissist, they will never admit their.
Because the thing is that they want so much attention that they're not even want to try to hear what you got to say. So they feel like they entitled for whatever reason. It's all about them. Yeah, it's me.
See, I get your point. So with everything you're saying, that's on a positive way. Be positive of yourself. Be confident in yourself. But what we're talking about is a narcissist. So you're right. But we're saying a narcissist, their behavior, it's actually, like you said earlier, it's a sickness. Like a narcissist. Could you imagine dealing with somebody who just owe you time that you gave them? And it's cool to be confident, but if you did a favor for somebody, wouldn't you want them to return the favor when you leave? If let's say you pick somebody up from work, you lent them money. You help them do chores, and now when it's time for them to do the same thing, you at work and you call them, they go, look, I'm busy, I ain't got the time. You'll be like, yo, what's up, man?
Yeah, that is a mental condition.
What's wrong with you, man?
It's a mental disease.
Yeah, it should be no excuse. That's like with me personally. The quickest way for me not to deal with you, I don't care if you fall in any of them three categories, family, friend, or foe. If you use them dumb, lame words, that terminology to me, oh, I'm too busy, or I ain't got time. Oh, when I hear that, I hear narcissist. Because if I told you I had $1 million, your ass would make time, right? If you was some guy into women, I told you I got a bunch of hot women over my house, you'll make time, right? If you was a chick and I told you I showed you a picture of these good-looking dudes that's all in shape, I bet you'll make time for that, right? So knock it off. Anytime someone tells me I ain't got time, I'm too busy, or I'm a try, to me, I say, oh, I'm dealing with a fool / narcissist. A narcissist who, oh, it's all about you, right? When you needed my favor, it was no problem on my end. I got a family, friends, and chores and things to do, just like anybody else.
See, now that you're talking,
but when you make excuses, I'm like, what? Exactly, I ain't dealing with you.
Exactly. And see, now that you're talking about friends, foes, and whatever, that is a really big thing about when a person thinks it's all about themselves, because that attitude is going to bring bad relationship.
Yes.
You're going to, even with friends, with people that are around you, and you're going to wind up being by yourself, because they're going to realize, yo, it's about you. Yeah. So I don't even want to be with you. Because it's all about you. It's not all about you. The same respect I give you, I expect you to give me in return. Without no excuses. Exactly. And that's why that person wind up being by themselves, and they grow old as well.
Exactly.
You know?
So we ain't going to keep it too long, because we could go all day with a narcissist, because we all dealt with that selfish, stuck up, conceited, vain, narcissist type of person. All basically mean the same thing. A person who, remember, the definitions is a person who has excessive admiration for themselves. You know, it's okay to be confident, as she said, but when you acting stuck up, or you acting conceited, or you acting like you're going to talk or look down on other people, and you don't give the same respect to people that has gave you respect, see, that's showing, oh, so you think it's all about yourself. You know, I need to distance myself from you.
The monkey, the lemur from Madagascar?
Oh, we always use that. That was a good example.
I'm better than you.
But I'm better. See, that was a narcissist.
Better than you.
Yeah.
No, but there's a few things that a narcissist has become when they're like that. They're a bunch of bullies. They're intimidating.
Trump. Good. 45. Good.
Yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot of people like that, and it's a shame. And you can actually change by recognizing that you're wrong. You know, if a true friend tells you, "Look, listen, you're wrong by being that way," you need to check yourself. You need to check yourself and say, you know,
self-check 101.
Yeah, and you know, it makes a person feel unimportant.
Now, I know I said this already, but I'm sure a lot of y'all out there, a lot of us, you have been through those things before where you've done favors for somebody, lent money, or whatever the case, and when it was time for them to do it, what did they give you? Dumb excuses. I even had some joker tell me, well, I didn't even do this for my family. It's like, I didn't ask you to do that for your family. When you needed this favor from me, did you go to your family? No, you went to me. So when it's time for you to show the same respect back, don't give me these excuses. I'm sorry, guys.
No, I was going to say, and I feel like if a narcissistic, always giving you, like you said, excuses, that should give you a big, big red hint, like this person should not be around you, because it leads to you are who you hang out with. Yep. And if somebody starts BSing you, you're going to start BSing other people.
It rubs off.
So I feel like if somebody that toxic, like a narcissist, I would call that a toxic person.
Yes, it is.
Don't let that change you to become a toxic person. Just cancel that person off and still be that positive person. Just don't deal with that person.
Oh yeah, it feels so good to let go, as they say, dead weight. Those toxic people, you gotta let them go, because it don't make no sense for a person to always looking at themselves. Do for me, give me, help me, do this for me, come to my event. Give me this, and me. You like, what the heck? Yo, did you go to such and such event? Did you go? Nah, I was tired. I was busy. I ain't feel like, yo, man, I got to stop being around you. You're a clown.
Or that person never steps back and be like, yo, do you need anything? It's just always about them. So if they're always about them, you need to just cut them off.
We are living in a world of people full of excuses. It doesn't mean that all of them are narcissists. All I'm saying is that, especially when you're constantly with someone around and they say, well, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, but then they expect in return about themselves. I would label them as narcissists.
So in closing, subscribe, share, like, and comment. You got any closing comments you would like to add towards a narcissist behavior?
Well, my thing is that when a person is narcissist, they just gotta really look at themselves and say, you know, is this gonna be a positive thing that down the line is that that's going to help me be better?
Because you will be lonely.
So really, you need to check yourself. You need to check yourself.
Okay, go ahead.
No,
what was your closing statement?
I was just bouncing off of what she said. If a person is being narcissistic, like, it's just an ugly characteristic trait about yourself. And like I always say, you need a self-check with yourself. If you constantly if you're constantly hearing everybody around you saying the same, then that means you're the problem. And you constantly keep that habit, you're going to be alone for the rest of your life.
It's not like them you said, because these are the type of people they in relationship after relationship after relationship, and then they'll tell any and everybody else that, man, he was tripping, man, she was tripping. No, you're the problem. How many times you hear a person, they married 3-4 times? You know, they got kids by multiple different women. It's like, you're the toxic person. You're the problem. But they'll tell everybody, oh, I ain't with him no more because he cheated on me. I ain't with her no more, man. She was tripping. She had some issues. Yo, dude, you in a relationship every 2 months or whatever, and none of your relationships last. You're the problem because you stuck on yourself. So what I would say in closing is, hey, if you're around a narcissistic person, it's okay to, even if they're a family, friend especially, if they're a foe, you definitely got to get away from that person. Remember, foe meaning enemy. But family or friend, it's even worth a healthy conversation to maybe bring that to their attention. Maybe it will help them. Maybe if y'all do have respect for one another, they may listen. But if they don't, after you took the time to show the respect, to explain them like, yo, you got to knock it off, man. You know, when you needed me, I did this for you. When I needed you, I heard all about how you got issues, how you got problems, and how you don't got time. If they don't listen at that point, you ain't got to get in an argument and debate going back and forth with them. You just need to get the hell away from them. But I will tell you this. They will tell any and everybody around their little circle how you was the no good person. And see, once again, they talking about themselves by putting you down. They building themselves up by putting you down. So be prepared for that. But in the end, you could do without that negative, toxic, bad behavior. So that ain't a loss. That's a gain to get rid of that negative crap.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, I was just going to say one more thing off of what you said. Like, if you feel like you're going to, you know, decide to cut that person off, don't ever let somebody make you feel like, or you're questioning your loyalty or your good friendship, as what you were saying. Like, if you feel like that person's like, dang, I'm always doing that for you, keep that same energy, just cut that person off.
Good point. Good point.
Exactly.
And remember, the title is Narcissist. And remember, the character, his name was Narcissist, which means narcissistic person. And remember, he fell in love with himself looking at his reflection to the point he got stuck in the mud to the point he died there. Hence the saying that we've always heard, man, you're stuck on yourself. And that's where it comes from.
There's nothing wrong with loving yourself way too much. You're supposed to love yourself, but don't get caught in just looking at everybody below you.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So on that note, subscribe, share, like, and comment. Peace.